historical superpower. Hi, I'm James Early, host of the Key Battles of American History podcast. In each episode, I discuss American history through the lens of the most important battles of America's wars. To start listening now, go to parthenonpodcast.com or search Key Battles of American History on your favorite podcasting platform.
Hey, welcome in Monday edition of the show. Yes, I'm back. Looking forward to it. Thanks for joining us. Here we go. So there's a disclaimer that plays before some of the programs that air here on 9890 Answer that says portions of the following program have been pre-recorded. I want to assure you that this is not one of those shows, but it will sound like one today with the topic that I start with, which of course is rampant crime and shootings in the city of Columbus. It sounds like it's on tape, but no. When I talk about the 4 shootings in less than an hour, one that left a man dead and 4 other people wounded, the dead man is 28 years old. One of the wounded is a 6-year-old girl shot while she was driving in the car with her parents. It's, I promise, not on tape from a previous show. Not from last week, not from last month, not from last year, although it could be because this keeps happening. But I promise you that I, Bruce Hooley, am live today here in the studios of 9890 Answer. The medical issues that intruded out of the blue on Thursday night are gone, and I am fine. It's nothing serious. Couldn't find my anti-nausea medicine. Don't take your chemo without anti-nausea medicine, kids. That is my recommendation to you. And if you're 6 years old, don't ride in your parents in the car on the west side of town, or you could be shot. But thankfully, the 6-year-old is not dead. The good fortune that she experienced, I guess, if you're 6 and you get shot, hard to say good fortune, but, you know, John Wilkes would take that kind of fortune. He's 28 years old, because he was shot dead in a garage last night on South Ogden Avenue. Officers chased the suspect, followed him until he bailed and ran out of his car. And guess what they found in his car? Nope, no, not a gun. No. They found a woman who had been shot. Oh, I see. Boy, Andrew Ginther, who has made gun violence a public health crisis in Columbus, not making much progress on that one. Not making much progress. Now, who was the shooter of 28-year-old John Wilkes? Well, that would be another fine representation of our juvenile justice system. Wait a minute. Nope, promise this is live, not on tape. His name is Mecky Miller. He's 18. He's charged with murder, and he's scheduled to appear in court tomorrow. And if Mecky is really lucky, he will wind up in front of Judge Michael Holbrook, and he will probably be, or better yet, Judge Kim A. Brown with an E on the end. And he will probably be set free. Holbrook was set him free on his own recognizance, just like he did Devon Blair, 23, who had already been in prison for domestic violence on another woman who had already choked and held a knife to the throat of Brooke Deviney, who was 19 and pregnant. Maybe Michael Holbrook would let Mecky Miller, 18, the murderer from last night, the alleged murderer, the accused murderer, maybe Holbrook would let him out with an ankle monitor. No, I'm sorry, this is not on tape. This is live, I promise. We didn't play the disclaimer for a reason. Portions of the following program are not pre-recorded. This is live. It's Monday, July the 29th. I promise you, not pre-recorded. It's depressing. When I moved back to Columbus in 1988 to start my career at the Plain Dealer in their Columbus bureau, I used to travel a lot, and I used to go to Boston, LA, San Francisco, New York in the course of my work. And I'd go to cities that people take, great cities. Seattle. Oh, can't wait till you go to Seattle, Bruce. Fantastic city. Seattle is now a hellhole like San Francisco is, like Oakland is, like LA is. There are no homeless people defecating on streets, and there were no needles. I walked around New York City in March of, let me think, what year was it? March of 1988. well after midnight, covered a couple of Ohio State basketball games at Madison Square Garden, took a walk around Greenwich Village, never even occurred to me that I would be in danger. I'd be dead if I did that now. Wait till I play for you later in the show the outcry in Brooklyn over a shooting over the weekend involving one of the 4,000 migrants who were crowded all around Brooklyn. The leftists who elected Eric Adams, who turned New York City, well, he kept New York City a sanctuary city, they're very unhappy now with the fact that they can't use their community center because it's overrun by migrants. It's coming here, folks. It's coming here. The crime is here, and the migrants are coming here, all because cities that used to be great American cities, back to my story about traveling around, and I'd always be like, I'm going to keep quiet about what a great city Columbus is because I don't want a bunch of people moving here and ruining how great it is. And now, we got to grow. We got to provide affordable housing, and we got to build $100 million bike path, and we got to elect 6 straight Democratic mayors. I mean, it's 2, Michael Coleman 3 times and Mayor Ginther 3 times, but 6 straight opportunities to return our city to sanity. No, thanks. No, let's double down. Let's vote every major office holder in town Democrat. Let's triple down. Let's vote an entire city council Democrat and see what happens. And you know what? That old adage, you can't fix stupid. Turns out it's an old adage because it's true. Things don't become cliche that aren't true. Things only become cliche because they're said so often because they prove true almost all the time. And you cannot fix stupid. So, those of you who are living in these areas of town that are crime-ridden and you're on borrowed time, Upper Arlington, because it's coming your way soon, you just keep on putting those Black Lives Matter stickers out in front of your house. Just keep on putting those Biden-Harris signs out in front of your house. Just keep on doing it. And then when bad things happen to you, I'll feel every bit of empathy for you that I feel for the people in Brooklyn, which is 0. Because you asked for it, you got it. Play stupid games, win stupid prizes, fool around, and find out. So, we had 4 people shot overnight. And of course, if Andrew Ginther comes out of his hole where he hides, and it's raining, so he might not be on the golf course today, then he'll talk about how unacceptable this is. And that'll be live too. You'll think, I've heard him say this before. This must be on tape. They didn't play the disclaimer. You know why? Because he keeps saying it. And Zach Klein will say it. And Shannon Hardin will say it. Your city law director, your city council president, they are foursquare on board with perpetuating the lie. Why? Because until you prove that you're smart enough not to vote for them anymore, then why would they change? Why would they change? I was sick on Friday, couldn't be in here. I missed the opportunity to tell you about another young black man shot to death in Columbus. Yay! Come on down, Joyce Beatty, head of the Congressional Black Caucus, doing a great job for your constituents. 21-year-old Keyshawn McDonald. Neighbors said they heard 10 to 12 shots. I looked out the window, saw a man chasing another man, people running to hide. Then I heard like another 20 shots. Well, they are thorough, if not respectful, of polite society. South High and East Woodrow Avenue. That's where Keyshawn McDonald breathed his last. We total up the number of kids under the age of, well, pick one. 21, 18, 25, I don't care. Pick one. The numbers will be staggering. Do you ever see the numbers printed? You ever see the Dispatch run one of their big old stories on exposing something? Oh, yeah, you do. About LifeWise Academy. Let's run a story about LifeWise Academy, which is teaching kids about the fruits of the Holy Spirit. But, crime in Columbus and the shootings and the murders that happen so often and so frequently that the show sounds like it's on tape when it's live. We don't have time for that. That's not a good use of our resources. You know why it's not a good use of the Columbus Dispatch's resources? Because it would make the mayor look like the utter buffoon that he is. Because it would make city council look like the partisan, bootlick, Democratic hacks that they are. Because it might make Joyce Beatty have to answer a question about not serving the community that she was given the role of serving in the U.S. Congress because her husband was way more powerful than her and had the decency to die ahead of her so she could be gifted a position that she never would have earned on her own merit, in addition to the $1 million mansion that she lives in, which if you try to find out how much she paid for it, you will be blocked by the real estate records and everything else because it was tied up in some kind of secretive trust that now no one can find out any details on. And the Dispatch is certainly not interested in reporting on that. So that's where we begin on Monday. I promise we're live, not on tape.
Clouds and humid this afternoon. Shower and thunderstorm. Could get some flash flooding. High 85. Partly cloudy, humid. Thunderstorm in the area tonight. Low 70. More clouds than sun. Humid. Shower and thunderstorm for tomorrow. The high 88. Partly sunny. Shower and a heavy thunderstorm on Wednesday. That could bring some downpours, hail, damaging wind. Even an isolated tornado is possible. High Wednesday afternoon. 85. Rain. Thunderstorm on.
I have met with the families of these American hostages multiple times now, and I've told them each time. I have met with the families of these American hostages multiple times now, and I've told them each time they are not alone, and I stand with them. And President Biden and I are working every day to bring them home. I also expressed with the Prime Minister my serious concern about the scale of human suffering in Gaza, including the death of far too many innocent civilians. And I made clear my serious concern about the dire humanitarian situation there, with over 2 million people facing high levels of food insecurity, and 500,000 people facing catastrophic levels of acute food insecurity. What has happened in Gaza over the past 9 months is devastating. The images of dead children and desperate, hungry people fleeing for safety, sometimes displaced for the second, third, or fourth time. We cannot look away in the face of these tragedies. We cannot allow ourselves to become numb to the suffering, and I will not be silent.
QC Kinetics back?
When?
Starting today.
I know, but when does it go right on
So
the
it's
show?
not this break, it'll be the next break.
Okay, so I can do what I want here?
My pillow is the last one of the day.
Okay. QC Kinetics is back, okay.
Yep.
Try to channel my inner QC Kinetics memory. Thanks.
At nationalguard.com/OH. Sponsored by the Ohio Army National Guard, aired by the Ohio Association of Broadcasters and this station.
Oil investments involve a high degree of risk and actual results may vary.
The price of gas and oil remains strong, and Goldman Sachs predicts the growth in demand to keep growing.
Not dampen our spirits.
Utilizing your tax savings for 2024. Your patriotic investment may generate monthly income for up to 20 or more years. That's the sound of a producing oil well and the sound of a smart investment. If you are an SEC accredited investor and can make a $200,000 investment, you can deduct nearly 100% of this investment in 2024. Call 1-800-278-7455. Investing in Encore Energy is an operator direct investment in horizontal oil drilling and production technology in an area of proven production where more than 100 wells have been drilled. Call now and learn how to deduct 100% of your investment for 2024. Call 1-800-278-7455. That's 1-800-278-7455.
That is a pretty good breakfast. You're not even eating.
I know what's up. Kath and I knew that Jenny had been partying a bit, found out she tried heroin.
Most people don't know what to say about drugs, but we do. Visit us at drugfree.org. A message from the Partnership for Drug-Free Kids, where families find answers.
Well, it's a Monday, and you know what that means. It means I'm leaving the show afterward to head to the carpet store, and I hope to see you just down the road from Costco. You can easily contact me and say, hey, Bruce, help me out with some new flooring. I am thrilled over the past month to have met, let me see, how many people? Andrea and Steve, Robin, Josh, Dwayne, Keith, and Sandy. There's just a few that come to mind. I love meeting you. I love helping you put beautiful new flooring in your home. If you're interested and you have a home within 50 miles of Central Ohio, I can help you out. I can get you hooked up with new flooring, carpet, LVP, luxury vinyl plank, looks like wood, looks like tile, more durable, waterproof. I can do it much faster than big box stores can. We're a more nimble operation. We will save you money. I guarantee you that. And you will love the craftsmanship of our installers. How do you do it? Go to brucehooley.com, click flooring in the upper right-hand corner. Couldn't be easier. brucehooley.com, flooring in the upper right-hand corner of the page. Love to hear from you. Love to chat with you. Love to help you. brucehooley.com, flooring, upper right-hand corner of the page. So the violence, the mayhem, the murder that I promise you, the show's not on tape. It is live. That occurred over the weekend. This is really in about an hour last night. We had 4 shootings, 1 murder, 28-year-old man dead, shot quite likely by an 18-year-old man, a 6-year-old girl shot while riding in the car with her parents. Indicative of something local that is also demonstrated on a wider scale in many more ways, national and international. Did you catch the Olympic opening ceremonies on Friday night? I did not, because I hate parades. And the Olympic opening ceremonies is one big long parade. I told you last week. I am avidly, ardently, unabashedly rooting against the United States basketball team, men and women, for their wokeness. Can't root for people who kneel for the national anthem. Can't root for people who say that America is a racist country while they're making $40 million a year individually or more in LeBron James' case. Actively rooting against the U.S. women's national team. I love the country. I hate the values of the people who represent the country. Okay? But the Olympic opening ceremonies had a depiction of the Last Supper, Da Vinci's famous painting of Jesus and the disciples in the upper room on the night before he was crucified, except that they had drag queens portraying Jesus and the 12 disciples. It was absurd. It was offensive. It was godless. But it was perfectly in line with what we see glorified in our culture today. Harrison Butker, last heard from, daring to give a pro-Catholic values speech at a Catholic university, weighed in by saying, and he and many others have said the same thing, do not be deceived, God is not mocked. This is where we are. And if you don't think this is where we are, and you say, well, that's France, what? Come on, there's nothing to see here, Bruce. I mean, we don't have any responsibility of that. Okay, well, we don't have any responsibility of that. So it might be interesting to note how our First Lady, Dr. Jill Biden, reacted to it. I mean, after all, she is married, at least we are told, to a devout Catholic. Presumably she is Catholic herself. What did Jill Biden think of the opening ceremonies? Ah, yes, the opening ceremonies in 4 years in Los Angeles. Gee, I don't know if Hollywood could come up with anything more degrading and demonic than what we saw play out in Paris. I mean, if you watch a Disney movie lately. So that is Dr. Jill Biden said it was spectacular. Spectacular. Not quite as spectacular, although I'm pretty sure that Iran and Hezbollah and quite likely the Democratic candidate for president, Kamala Harris, thought it was spectacular. 12 children were literally blown to pieces over the weekend in a rocket attack in northern Israel by Hezbollah. Well, wait a minute. Now Hezbollah says, no, we didn't do it. We didn't do it. But first, when Hezbollah thought that they had killed 12 Israeli children and wounded 30 more, they proudly took credit for it. It was only after they found out that the 12 children were in a large Druze community, and that's some kind of ethnic designation of Arab and Arabic-speaking religious groups. People who are Druze are Israeli citizens and also serve in the Israeli Defense Forces. But Hezbollah, a little uncomfortable being an Arab terrorist group killing other Arabs. So they backed off. No, we didn't do it. We did it, but then we didn't do it. But this is interesting that it comes in the wake of Benjamin Netanyahu, the Israeli prime minister, visiting Washington, D.C. last week, giving an address, his fourth, to a joint session of Congress, which is, unless they've changed the Constitution since the last time I looked, and I don't think they have, the vice president presides over joint sessions of Congress, except on that day, the Wicked Witch of the West, Kamala Harris, could not be bothered to do her constitutionally appointed duties. She was meeting with her sorority sisters at I Speak a Stupid, apparently. And the next day, she met with Benjamin Netanyahu individually because, of course, it's cumbersome to have a dead man in the room with you while you're meeting with the Israeli vice president. So after Joe Biden met with Netanyahu, Kamala Harris met with Netanyahu and gave a separate statement where she gave her own take on the whole Israeli-Hamas conflict.
I have met with the families of these American hostages multiple times now. And I've told them each time they are not alone, and I stand with them. And President Biden and I are working every day to bring them home.
Doing a rotten job of it.
I expressed with the Prime Minister my serious concern about the scale of human suffering in Gaza, including the death of far too many innocent civilians.
They matter.
I made clear my serious concern about the dire humanitarian situation there, with over 2 million people facing high levels of food insecurity, and 500,000 people facing catastrophic levels of acute food insecurity.
Okay, I got to stop it there because I'm having acute levels of truth insecurity because this vapid idiot has drawn a moral equivalency, which she never mentions the first half of, which is Hamas went into Israel, violated a ceasefire, which she wants put back in place, which Hamas has already proven it would not honor, and murdered over 1,000 innocent Jewish citizens. I have a video on my website, now that the Olympics have started, of an Israeli rhythmic gymnast who was running away from a Hamas terrorist on October the 7th. The terrorist shoots her friend, who was not as fast as she was, then gets to her and shoots her in the head also.
With SRN News, I'm Bob Agnew in Washington. The U.S. is among the countries questioning the claims of victory by Venezuelan President Nicolas Maduro. U.S. Secretary of State Anthony Blinken said the U.S. has serious concerns about whether the alleged vote tally really is true and lines up with the votes and the values of the Venezuelan people. Germany, Britain, and the Netherlands among the countries now calling on their citizens to leave Lebanon immediately Expectations are growing that there will be a major Israeli strike on the country in response to a rocket attack that killed 12 children over the weekend in the Golan Heights. Fire crews are hopeful that cooler, more humid weather will help them get a better handle on the park fire in Northern California. It's the biggest one burning there, and as of yesterday, it had already charred enough acreage to cover all of Los Angeles. More on these stories at srnews.com.
Wesley Financial Group is not a law firm. If you own a timeshare, don't miss this public service announcement from Chuck McDowell, founder of Wesley Financial Group.
If you receive an unsolicited phone call or mail piece to discuss selling, renting, or especially canceling your timeshare, don't fall for it. If you really want out of your timeshare, hang the phone up immediately or throw that mail piece in the trash and contact your timeshare resort or Wesley Financial Group for assistance with your timeshare. As the only Inc. 500 timeshare cancellation company, our knowledge, experience, and results has made Wesley a trusted resource for over 40,000 families we've helped get out of their timeshare. Give us a call and I'll send you our timeshare exit information kit free with the straight facts about your timeshare and all of your options for cancellation.
Call for your free info kit. 800-885-3333. That's 800-885-3333. 800-885-3333.
Dennis Prager here. I invite you to join me on a Bible cruise this November. Share fresh insights during these discussions, all while soaking up the sunshine and beauty of a tropical Caribbean paradise. Visit PragerBibleCruise.com.
Images of dead children. My serious concern. And President Biden and I are working every day to bring them home. I also expressed with the Prime Minister my serious concern.
Hi, I'm Charlie Moon. I've been in the trading game for almost 20 years, and I just discovered the most powerful trading tool I've ever seen. So if you're trading stocks or options, then listen up. This new AI-powered trade finder can find you stocks to consider trading, which have had gains as high as 1,729% and have had nearly perfect win rates. It analyzes the entire stock market in seconds and pumps out a list of trades for you to consider every single morning. And the trades it finds can be potentially profitable regardless of which direction the market is moving. So if you want in on this action, listen closely. For a short amount of time, I'm opening up free access to some of these picks and giving you the chance to get top trade ideas from the AI Trade Finder every day for 100% free. Just text trade to 76626. Stop trying to find the right stocks to trade on your own. Just text trade to 76626 now and get access to the top trades our AI finds every single day. Text trade to 76626. Standard text and data rates may apply. Past performance is not indicative of future results. Text trade to 76626. We are the entertainment you love and information that shapes your day. We are your lifeline. We are your companion. We are broadcasters. Text radio to 52886 and let Congress know you depend on your local radio station. This message furnished by the National Association of Broadcasters.
Well, it's that time of year where you start to feel the impact of all the additional exercise you've been doing during this nice weather. And if you have chronic joint pain or you're not having success with the medical treatment that you're getting to treat it, I would like to submit to you an old friend that is back on the program because you responded so positively to me introducing you to QC Kinetics. Yes, there are clinics in Gahanna and Dublin. Stand ready to help you. How? With regenerative therapy. Not surgery, not drugs, your own body's healing agents removed from your body, yes, a blood draw, and then separated and strategically reinserted into your body at the perfect interval so that your body can do what it is designed to do. If you'd like to hear more about this, get a free consultation by calling QC Kinetics at 380-208-4544. That's 380-208-4544, 380-208-4544. So if you have paid any attention at all to Vice President Kamala Harris over the past, let's say 4 years, when she was running for president And once she became vice president, because she was so super qualified as the only black woman in Democratic politics that didn't have the stench of a skunk on her like Susan Rice did from the whole Benghazi lie, and Stacey Abrams did from the whole I won't concede the Georgia election, which is problematic for Democrats because, you know, they're not crazy about Trump not conceding an election. Then voila, let's pick the girl who called Joe Biden a racist. If you've been following Kamala Harris ever since then you know that she has a way of talking, shall we say. Her words are often nonsensical, silly, and yet, as Vice President of the United States, she is not spared the consequence of words mattering when you have high office. And so when she decided that in a nakedly political move late last week, she would not attend Benjamin Netanyahu, the Israeli Prime Minister's speech before Congress, which she is constitutionally appointed to preside over joint sessions of Congress. Funny, she managed to make it for the tie vote on the Inflation Reduction Act, which has not reduced inflation at all, but has skyrocketed gas prices. Hey, did you see gas prices are up 10 more cents in Columbus? Woo! Bidenomics is working. But at any rate, Kamala made it for the vote to spend billions, if not trillions, on green energy initiatives that don't really provide any energy, like that amount of money sunk into liquefied natural gas or other forms of energy that we have perfected but now can't do because, hey, green energy is everything. Kamala is realizing that her words matter, because last Thursday when she said this after meeting with Benjamin Netanyahu,
the Prime Minister, my serious concern about the scale of human suffering in Gaza, including the death of far too many innocent civilians. And I made clear my serious concern about the dire humanitarian situation there, with over 2 million people facing high levels of food insecurity, and 500,000 people facing catastrophic levels of acute food insecurity. What has happened in Gaza over the past 9 months is devastating. The images of dead children and desperate, hungry people fleeing for safety, sometimes displaced for the second, third, or fourth time.
Gee, I wonder if the images of dead children blown to smithereens by a Hezbollah bomb over the weekend is something she also cannot keep silent about. Because if you think it's a coincidence that she goes on camera nationally and points the finger at Israel without ever mentioning what precipitated Israel responding to the terrorists from Hamas who hide like the cowards and the cockroaches that they are in tunnels in Gaza, while continuing to harbor, oh, that's right, somewhere between 5 and 8 American citizens as hostages who we never mention. Are you old enough to remember a world where the ABC News program Nightline did not exist? I'm old enough to remember that. You know when and why we have a program called Nightline? I don't even know if it's still on. We had it for decades. They're so irrelevant now. It's probably gone because nobody watches it, because nobody trusts the media, which the media is to blame for that because they don't tell the truth anymore. But for a long time, we had a program called Nightline. May still have it. I don't know. It's irrelevant. But it was very relevant when Jimmy Carter was the president and the Iranians took 51 American hostages. And it's been a very long time since then. Why do I still remember the number 51? Because it was in the news every single day. Because Nightline was born to devote a half an hour every single night at 11:30 after your local news to the plight of 51 Americans being held by Iran. But now, how often do you hear any major news network other than Fox or Newsmax ever mention that we have American hostages? Kamala says they're working every single day. Well, then you suck at it because they're still hostages. But of course, you suck at everything you do, which the mainstream media won't report because they have succeeded in doing what you vapidly state all the time. They have unburdened you from what has been, which is your horrific record as a vice president. Now, if you really want to know what's going on in Israel, you're going to have to watch Fox or one of the other few conservative networks, or get your news from Daily Wire or someplace like that. Here is Fox's Trey Yingst talking about the scene in northern Israel, where now the war in the Middle East is threatening to be escalated, despite the fact that Joe Biden did not go on camera yesterday. Kamala Harris did not go on camera yesterday. But the White House, after 12 children were blown up while playing soccer. You been to a soccer game? Your kids play soccer? You sit, put your lawn chair beside the field. You watch little kids running around. It's a great day, right? It is, until like a missile comes across the border and kills 12 of them and injures 30 plus more. Imagine that happening out at Darray Fields in Dublin. That would get our attention, wouldn't it? Well, the White House didn't get their attention because Kamala couldn't go on camera. Biden couldn't go on camera. But they did issue a statement where they urged Israel to provide a balanced response. Don't get upset, Israel, just because the Hezbollah, funded by Iran nut jobs, blew a dozen children up.
This is the site of the rocket attack that killed 12 Druze children and teenagers yesterday. We've heard such horrific stories here in Mashtal Shams. One father who rushed over to this field and found his daughter dead next to so many other young children. We also spoke with a first responder who was in shock as we talked to him about what it was like to arrive here and try to basically create a triage station and treat those who were still alive. Right now, there are crews going around this area inch by inch, and they're picking up pieces of these kids. It's horrific, and it illustrates the graphic nature of an attack like the one that took place on Saturday in the Golan Heights.
Sorry to have to do that to you before lunch, but you need to be informed. You need to know the full details of the evil endorsed by, enabled by, encouraged by the Biden administration and the Democratic candidate for president, Kamala Harris, who in an attempt to win the state of Michigan, for which she has no hope, without which she has no hope of winning the presidency, she will be perfectly fine with talking about the deaths of children in Gaza, where Hamas is embedded and started this conflict, and she will never mention that. She will only bemoan the death of children in Gaza, which is very unfortunate, but collateral damage brought upon Gaza by the terrorist organization that citizens in Gaza put in power and will not expel and will not expose. Hey, IDF, you're coming in. Here they are. No, instead, the IDF has to go into residential neighborhoods and stage heroic rescues of hostages who are living with citizens of Gaza. And this is something that Kamala Harris has no problem with. How in the world could you vote for this?
Shower and thunderstorm could get some flash flooding, high 85. Partly cloudy, humid thunderstorm in the area tonight, low 70. More clouds than sun, humid shower and thunderstorm for tomorrow, the high 88. Partly sunny, shower, and a heavy thunderstorm on Wednesday. That could bring some downpours, hail, damaging wind. Even an isolated tornado is possible. High Wednesday afternoon, 85. Rain, thunderstorm on Thursday, the high up to 91. I'm Steve Williams on 98.9 FM, The Answer.
The Caribbean is calling. Dennis Prager here. I invite you to join me on a Bible cruise this November in the Caribbean. Imagine 9 days of basking in the sun, surrounded by the stunning beauty of a tropical paradise. We'll cruise to the vibrant islands of Half Moon Cay, Curacao, Bonaire, and more, while making unforgettable memories with like-minded travelers. Stroll through Curaçao's iconic pastel-colored shops and snorkel in Bonaire's world-class coral reefs. You'll enjoy some of the most delicious cuisine aboard Holland America's Rotterdam, a fantastic destination itself with riveting shows and spectacular views. This experience is more than a vacation. It's a chance to participate in profound discussions. The fresh insights I will share with you about the books of the Bible and current events should energize and challenge you. Mark your calendars, November 29th to December 8th, 2024. Learn more and secure your spot on this once-in-a-lifetime adventure by calling 855-565-5519 or booking online at PragerBibleCruise.com.
Feel like you're trying to push a boulder uphill wearing skates? If you run or manage a local business today, you're challenged like never before. We get it, and we want to help. We're Salem Surround, and when it comes to marketing, consider us your personal move you forward company. In a recent study, we found that 53% of local businesses were classified as novices when it came to designing, implementing, and managing their marketing needs. And that's where Salem Surround truly shines. We're a full-service marketing agency that'll help you increase your customer base by designing incredibly effective plans to reach your consumers day, night, and everywhere they might be. Let us give you an absolutely free audit of your current marketing and what your competition is doing. Our digital sales and support teams are the best in the industry and deliver customized personal service that's second to none.
If you're a local business and ready to take the next step, Google Salem Surround Columbus right now. Our experts are ready to help you take your marketing to the next level. Google Salem Surround Columbus today.
Ian Ralston was a combat medic who suffered a catastrophic war injury in Iraq. When I met Ian for the first time, I knew we had to do everything we could to get him every benefit he's earned to live as normal life as possible. And we did. He needed an accessible house. We got that grant, and a van for his wheelchair to get him there. My name is Jason Stevenson, and I work for Paralyzed Veterans of America.
America's most seriously injured veterans are getting all the care and benefits they've earned, thanks to Paralyzed Veterans of America. For over 65 years, Paralyzed Veterans of America has helped hundreds of thousands of veterans, and their service is free to all veterans and their families. Paralyzed Veterans of America, changing lives, building futures. To learn more, visit pva.org. A public service message from Paralyzed Veterans of America.
I didn't want to talk. She just sat with me. That was all I really needed.
We got back. One day he called me out of the blue, and it's comforting to know that I always can count on him to have my back.
She called me from time to time. I really didn't think I needed any help.
It took me from being really depressed to feeling like somebody cared to give me some hope. Just that one text.
Be there. Your call, your presence, your words, your support. Be there and help save a life. Learn more about preventing suicide at veteranscrisisline.net.
You know, you go to outlet stores, you don't really think too much about it. Hey, great, we can get a little bit off on the products that we would have to buy at maybe another department store because, hey, we buy them direct from the manufacturer, right? We get a 10% savings. Well, the products at patriotswitch.com give you an even better deal than that. Until the end of the month, you could become a member, which gives you, for $1, an annual membership. What does that do, Bruce? Well, it gives you 35 to 50% off the prices that people pay when they go to the website without being a member to buy things you're already buying. Like what? Well, like laundry detergent, cleaning products, vitamins, supplements, nutrition bars, protein powder, on and on and on. I don't have enough time. There are 450 plus products made by this one company that does not advertise in stores and does not sell its products in stores. You buy direct from the manufacturer, they ship it to your house. It costs you $1 to be a member to get the discount. It's an outlet store on steroids. You will love it. I've been a member for 3 years. Love to tell you about it. Go to patriotswitch.com/Bruce, patriotswitch.com/Bruce. So you may have heard the quotation, those who cannot remember the past are condemned to repeat it. This is why you should understand how stupid it is that Kamala Harris continues to talk about forgetting the past and all the things that you can learn from history as if it is a recipe for some kind of successful strategy going forward should she win the role of president of the United States. History is our best teacher, is it not? But of course, with Kamala Harris, the reason you know she pays no attention to history is when you hear her talk about equity and equality and how it's not fair if everybody gets the same thing because some people started behind and you got to give them more. And if you don't give them more, then that is socialism, which has never been successful anywhere. Well, I mean, it's been successful if you consider your end game poverty, hopelessness, and massive death. Then it's been very successful, along with its cohort communism. But Kamala Harris is all hung up on equity and equality. I guess, really, I personally can't blame her, because the fact that she is at sometimes Indian, at sometimes Asian, at sometimes black, and always a woman, if in fact a Democrat can define the word woman these days, equity has served her very well. It elevated her to Attorney General of the state of California, Senator of the state of California, and Vice President of the state of California, even though while running for president of the United States, she did not last long enough in the campaign to even get to the first primary of the 2020 election season. So I understand why she really loves the equity thing, but it hasn't worked in world history, and that's why she's always saying, I can imagine what can be unburdened by what has been. Because if she can unburden herself from the past, well, then she can unburden herself of all the stupid, idiotic, communist, socialist things she have said, like mandatory buyback program for guns. Give me your gun. Here's a couple bucks. Isn't that a fair trade? No, it is not. My personal safety is now at issue. That's okay. Because it's mandatory. And because I'm unburdened by what has been. In dictatorships where millions of people who could not defend themselves have been killed. I am unburdened by what has been with the demonizing and diminishing of domestic energy. Right now they're rioting in Venezuela. They're rioting in Venezuela because Nicolas Maduro, a dictator who the Biden and Harris administration have cozied up to relax sanctions so we can buy oil from Venezuela because, of course, we can't produce our own anymore. They are rioting in Venezuela. And they are rioting because they think Nicolas Maduro stole an election to stay in power. Sound familiar? The Biden and Harris administration like Nicolas Maduro. They didn't want to do business with him. Of course they do, because they'd like to have the same setup as Nicolas Maduro so that Republicans could never win another presidential election. And then they'll work their way down to the Senate, and then they'll work their way down to the House. They're importing their own voting bloc to do it. Did you see Christopher Wray in front of Congress the other day talking about the assassination attempt on President Biden, where Christopher Wray said, with respect to former President Trump, there's some question about whether or not it's a bullet or shrapnel that hit his ear. Christopher Wray would like to be unburdened by what has been. The assassination attempt on President Trump made Trump popular, made people say, wow, they really are trying to kill this guy. They're really trying to take away his wealth, try to put him in prison. Now they're trying to kill him. Christopher Wray would like you to be unburdened of all of that so that you don't remember it, so that you don't look on Donald Trump as if he is someone who might be deserving of your vote. You know who else is in on that? Our old friend Google. Have you ever tried searching anything on Google? And you type it in, and you don't even have to, I can type something in, and then Google tries to read my mind, right? Maybe I've Googled it before and knows what I'm going to type in, or maybe I get, a couple letters in there, and then Google very helpfully provides all kinds of suggestions. Like, I wanted to find out that exact quote about the past. So I just typed in, let's try it again. Those who, oh, there it comes up. I typed those who, and up pops, those who do not remember the past are condemned to repeat it. Next suggestion, those who stand firm to the end will be saved. Those who stay will be champions. Sorry, it's a Michigan thing. Anyway, Google's very helpful. You know what happens if you go to Google right now and you try to Google assassination attempt on, does an array of stories pop up? Assassination attempt on, was there an assassination attempt recently that might be in the news? Oh, that's right, Trump in Butler, Pennsylvania. You have to type in assassination attempt on TRU, and you know what comes up? Assassination attempt on Harry Truman. Did you know there was an assassination attempt on Harry Truman? I didn't either. When was Harry Truman president? Was he president in my lifetime? No, he wasn't. No, he was not president in my lifetime. Unbelievable. No, really, very believable. I'm stupid for saying unbelievable because I've been unburdened by what has been. I don't remember the past in big tech. What did I forget? COVID? Did I forget the Hunter Biden laptop? No, I didn't forget any of that. I just occasionally, from time to time, am so overwhelmed by how obvious this attempt to unburden us of the past that Democrats, which is to say media, academia, big tech, do not want us to remember, that I become unburdened by just how amazingly different this country is in 2024 than it was in, I don't know, how far back do you think when things really, really changed? Like the new millennium, 2001, September 11th, 2001. Remember how united we were? And then it wasn't long before we actually saw the consequences of going in, the actual cost of war, trying to win the war on terror, trying to pay those back who did what they did to innocent American citizens minding their own business on a beautiful September day. It wasn't long before, oh, we lost our stomach for that. You mean we can't win the war in 5 minutes? Okay, let's give up then. I don't like seeing pictures of soldiers coming back with their knees blown off. They're willing to do it. I'm just not willing to watch it. If I'm a New York elite, if I'm a college professor, if I'm an actor in Hollywood, I don't want to watch that. I don't have any personal skin in the game. I don't want to recognize the freedom that I have and the privilege that I have because of those brave men and women who are over there getting their limbs blown off and losing their lives so that I can continue to live my carefree life here in America. I just don't want to watch that. Okay? And you know, I don't want to watch Hamas going across the border into Israel and shooting people in the head and bringing them back, and raping them literally to death, holding them hostage, raping them every day. They're down in tunnels doing unspeakable things to those hostages. I don't have to see that, so I feel sympathy for the people up on the surface who put Hamas in power. See, I'm unburdened by what's going on. I just don't like it, so I don't want to see it. I don't want to be reminded of it, and I don't want you to think about it. Otherwise, you might not vote for Kamala Harris.
Hey, Kirk here. Did you know that 80% of adults take supplements to feel our best, right? Well, one thing your dog can't do without you is improve their diet or health to feel their best. That is why I believe Rough Greens could dramatically help your best friend by adding what is missing to their diet like you do. Rough Greens is helping thousands and thousands of dogs.
All right, my friends. Thanks for joining. Great to be back.
Including my dog, Mr.
Talk to you
Ray,
again soon.
who loves it. Naturopathic Dr. Dennis Black, who created Rough